I started to play the piano when I was 5. My parents, they bought a piano for my sister. So there was a piano in my house, so I started to play. I do have a piano. After I graduated last year, I moved out to an apartment in New York. So I have a Boston baby grand. I came to the States when I was 18 to go to Juilliard for my undergrad, and I also did my master's there. So that was 6 years at Juilliard. I have always wanted to be a pianist playing for people, but the traveling part, as a kid, I always wanted to travel, but my parents would tell me, you should just practice, and by the time you play well enough, and you get to travel. So I never traveled that much when I was in China. But now I do get to travel, but I never get to see much. My favorite composer is Chopin. Why? Because I think it's the poetry in his music that attracts me. And also he devoted his life writing piano music, so his music has a very special place in all pianists' hearts. For me, when I play his music, I feel his notes go beyond so much just notes on the paper, but it feels like a dialogue or a conversation, a story, a poem. So it speaks to me, to my heart. The greatest highlight so far is that I did the Clyburn competition in 2013, and that competition, I was one of the 6 finalists in the competition, and that really opened a lot of doors for us and launched a career for many of us. Clyburn competition is a very rigorous competition. It happens every 4 years in Fort Worth, and it starts with a resume round, meaning usually for competitions you send tapes. But for this competition, they look at the paperwork first to make sure you're experienced with playing concerts. And then they select 150 people to play live auditions around the world. They actually have a panel of jury that toured around the world. They made stops in Hong Kong, New York, Fort Worth, Milan, Moscow, Paris, probably, I don't know, but a lot of stops to hear those pianists play live, a 40-minute recital. And then they select 30 people to go to Fort Worth for the real competition. For the first round, we play 2 45-minute recitals. And after that, free repertoire, you can get to play whatever you want to play. And then they select 12 people to the semifinals, where we play a piano quintet with a string quartet and another 60-minute recital, free repertoire, except they commission a contemporary piece for everyone to play. You can either memorize it or play with music, but everyone almost, I think, memorized. Yeah. And then they select 6 people to go to the finals and play 2 concerti, 1 classical and 1 romantic. The Clyburn competition is very special because it's all free repertoire. A lot of other competitions, they have very specific requirements, like a classical sonata, a Bach prelude and fugue or something, some etudes. This one is just play whatever you think represent you the best, which is very nice. I have a lot of embarrassing moments on stage. Well, I remember, that was not on stage. I was rehearsing with my group in a very small room. We were playing Messiaen for the End of Time Quartet, and the end of the first movement was with a big chord, and I just banged my forehead on the piano, and I got a bump right away. So I was crying because it was hurting so much, but I was also laughing because it was really funny. But and also I didn't play so much chamber music when I was in China, but when I came to the States for the first time, I performed chamber music. I went on stage and my cellist nodded at me for an A to tune, but I didn't know. I thought he meant, we are ready. So I kind of almost started to play, and then they were like, no. I thought that was really funny too. Yeah. I have a chamber group, a piano trio. We have been playing together for 2 years. We have a name, it's Aletheia Piano Trio. Aletheia is a word, a Greek goddess for sincerity and honesty, and that's what we want to communicate to our audience. My violinist is Francesca De Pasquale, and my cellist is from Paris, Julia Helene. Yeah, we are great friends, and we started to play kind of by coincidence. We never wanted to form a piano trio, but it just happened that way. So we are very blessed, happy about that. Yeah. The trio, the three of us, we all go to Juilliard, so we started there, and there's just a lot of great piano trio repertoire. A lot. We started, the first piece we worked on together was a Schubert B-flat piano trio, which is a real difficult work. So after that, we felt very connected as a group because we felt like we went through something very hard, and that kind of just pulled us together. A lot like Brahms, Beethoven, Mozart, Haydn, everyone actually. Yeah, we even played a Chopin trio. Yeah, and we play Shostakovich, Rachmaninoff a lot. I enjoy playing both solo and chamber music, and with orchestra. I think playing with playing different things actually brings out different sides of me and of my playing. Solo, you need to be very strong, and you only need to, think about what you want to say. But when you play with other musicians, it's actually a very amazing experience. It's this collaboration. And you need to feel each other and everything. It's just that split second. So it's very, very, very. What the trio tries to do always is we try to inspire each other. Well, I'm excited about every concert, but the next one, I'm going back to New York and playing in the Southampton Cultural Center, a recital, and then come back to Denver on the 17th and playing with the Denver Phil on the 21st, playing Rhapsody in Blue. And then I'm going back to Vail Music Festival in the summer. They launched a new program called Piano Fellows, and I'm one of the 2 pianists that are invited to go there and just play. So actually practicing is a very different story from actually performing the piece. A lot of people, they love music, but practicing, not so many people like it. But because it can be very tedious, I think. But I do enjoy practicing. I think practicing is not about just training your fingers. It's not like athletic exercise. I think practicing, learning the notes and getting your fingers in place, it's one part, is the starting part. I think it's also the easiest part, is how you live with the piece and how you ingrain the piece into your blood. And when you play it, making it feel like it's flowing out of your blood. It's not something imposed on you, but something very natural to you. I think that takes time, and that's the hardest part. That's why we need to spend so much time with the piece. It's like you getting to know a person. Yeah. I used to think a lot more in Chinese first and then translate into English when I first came to the States. But now I think I'm getting better at thinking in English. Yes. Once a year I go back to visit my parents in China. A direct flight, I guess, it used to take 16 hours. I think now it's 13, I'm not sure. Yeah, I hope they get faster. I had the most enjoyable time playing with the Fort Collins Symphony and working with Maestro Kenny. It was my first time playing the Tchaikovsky first concerto with orchestra, with any orchestras. So it was very exciting for me, and I really enjoyed it.